Hey Ethan, last week you said that you could teach me how to get work from overseas. How am I going to do
Wow,
that?
yeah, I did. Wow, it's actually you're also working for overseas. Yeah,
Yeah,
we
I
did.
know.
Yeah, I was. Yeah, actually, remember one point we are our sites are just quite near in the U.S. Desert. I
Yep.
was quite surprised there. I was quite surprised there.
So
Yeah, we can do that.
I
Yeah.
wrote
All
myself
right.
some notes. I don't know if you want to hear
Mm-hmm.
my thoughts, but so
Yeah.
I wrote
What
myself
was
some
that?
notes. And one of the things I wrote was the codes, the building codes change when you work overseas, but the principles
Yeah.
remain the same. So keeping water out in the Mojave Desert or in Joshua Tree, wherever it is, those are the same principles as you have in Taranaki. So it's not
Mm-hmm.
like we need to relearn different principles. Keeping water out in California is the same as keeping water out in London and in everywhere. The
Yeah.
other thing I the other thing I wrote down was you have to promote yourself online. No one is going to find you if you don't make yourself available. I used to call it, people used to say to me, how did you get work overseas? My answer was
Mm-hmm.
relentless self promotion. That is continuing to promote myself on forum after forum, making the YouTube movies, making podcasts. All of these things help promote you so that people listen to you and say, I like that guy. I think he can help me. So that was one of the other things. There's a guy, I don't know if you know the software for accounting called Xero, Xero,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I
Xero
know.
software.
I use it.
So
I
the
use it.
guy who started Xero actually comes from Hawke's Bay, and he gave a
Wow, I didn't know
presentation
that.
to my daughter's high school. And his
Mm-hmm.
catchphrase was live local, work global.
Mm-hmm.
And his Xero, his accounting software, is available worldwide. So that's how you can do it. You can work. Join forums and add to the conversation. Make sure you contribute to people. Don't just expect them to like you for what you are. We're trying to contribute to people's lives. So if you see someone with a problem, answer their problem. Don't tell them, "Oh, you can employ me to answer this problem." They don't want to know. You give away information on the hope that somebody is going to um, see the benefit of what you're doing and get you that way. So what have we got? So we got things like LinkedIn, we got Facebook groups. Add
Yeah.
content that people could find useful. That's what I've written down. Now, there's a
Mm-hmm.
couple of books that are really good for this. One is called Guerrilla Marketing,
Mm-hmm.
and there was another one, I can't find it in my bookcase, but it was called Inbound Marketing. And it's like guerrilla marketing. And the idea is that by contributing and showing your abilities, that you can find work overseas. You have to set yourself a goal of wanting to do that, but it is still possible to do it.
Yeah. Yeah. That's what happens because I got overseas jobs, which was when I was quite young, and when I just remember it, I was doing some design walks and in gallery and doing sometimes teaching students at international schools, and people getting to notice me. And then one day, one guy from the US came in looking for architects from Myanmar, and they want to build a partner center in the US. And from the contacts, and because of my design works, and I'm already getting known by the during the, in the communities and international expat community, and they approached me because the thing is, at the time that was more than 20 years ago, I was doing all the design and contributing, and at the time the internet was not that widely popular. You need to promote or you need to contribute the knowledge to the community. That's the basic of it. And the opportunities knocked my door. And then I started working on one project after another. And there are a few projects overseas that I had done. And another thing, so that's how to get a job. I agree with you. Nowadays you need to contribute more and easily. And from your desk, you can answer the questions through the computers. You can write interesting articles on LinkedIn. If you don't want to, if you're lazy, if you don't want to write, you can also talk like podcasts and tell what you think about this and that. But if
Or
you're,
even if you're even lazier, you then turn your podcast into an article for LinkedIn by using AI to turn it into an
yeah,
article for you.
yeah, that's so many way of doing it, and they're all contributing to the community. And after over time, people will notice you, and you're building trust as well because you're what you are giving to the wall is knowledge, not the rubbish. You're telling, okay, these are the things you have to look out for in life. There are improvements for the professionally, for life ideas. So that's what we're doing, and over time, people will notice, and people want to approach you, talk to you, and also, for example, it will take time. You won't get immediately. And over time, they will say, okay, can you help me on this job? I will pay you. So you will start getting a small job. And if your service is good, you will get another job, one after another, and word of mouth.
Hmm.
Uh, so after that, you can sustain your business like any other business. And another thing is, people may ask, if you walk overseas, what kind of building code and who will sign? So building codes are basically the same thing. Last time, I think maybe a few weeks ago, we talked about the staircase height, the riser height of the staircase. You know, humans are not much different. So country to another, the size of the legal height of the steps are maybe 180 mil, 175 mil, 170 mils. So slightly different, but the concept is the same. For example, accessibility case, the ramp, the radius of the slope of the ramps are generally the same. One is to 20, one is to 12. Or generally, the recommendations are the same because if the slope is too steep, you cannot push. So that is
Yeah.
normal.
Well,
And also the SS with the corridor, you need to have the same width. Internationally, human size architecture is based on the human size. I think Corbusier usually draws human size in his buildings with the hands above. That's the fundamental of it. And humans, because architecture is designed for human. So there are
where's
some
my?
you can talk about that. You can there was ultimately it's for people to live in, people to walk. So for the building code for even in the US, the building code for California and building code for Georgia, they are different. They are different because you need to recertify if you want California architects and you want to work in Georgia, so or you want to work in Massachusetts. But the thing is, you can't keep on getting your license for every state. It's impossible. And you might notice that the famous architects, their works is everywhere, all over the world. So as an
Yeah,
architect,
they do. They work
uh,
everywhere.
yeah, as an architect, it's very common. It's quite common that you can walk all over the world. And if your design is quite good, another architects will check the code for you and they will sign for you. That's how we did it. And we did it for, so I did some projects in the US, and Jonathan, you had done a few walks in the US and UK, if I understand correctly, right? So that's fine. And to get overseas job, you just need to contribute and build reputations and contribute. And over time, maybe 1 year, 2 years, or 3 years time. And another thing is this kind of keep on contributing to the wall and knowledge area. That means you are genuinely interested in this subject, because if you don't love if you don't love architecture, if you don't love the subject, you won't be doing every week. You won't be talking and contributing every day, right? Because
Right.
you are realty. That means, isn't it? So that's why
Yeah, it's
people
just
interested you and people contact you and people give the job to you.
yeah. When I worked in England, I was really fortunate that the guy that I know here, James, his cousin ran the London office, so it was really easy for me to get a job. But
Mm-hmm.
it was my abilities to solve the problems that kept me employed. You can get a
Yeah,
job for 3 months easy, but to work somewhere for 5 years, you've actually got to be able to do what they want, particularly when
yeah,
things got tough. But one of the things I did find is that the principles that I learned, the principles of keeping water out, pressure differential, all that kind of stuff, You can go and work in London and it's exactly the same stuff. It's
Yeah.
keeping water out is the same. Okay, so I had to learn about bricks because I didn't work much in brickwork, but it's easy enough to learn. Don't forget that all the time we have to learn new materials. You're just learning a new
Yes.
material. All the
Yeah.
time we have to learn about our building codes. So you're just learning a new building code. It's not that hard to make that
Yeah.
leap. The hardest thing is finding the clients that want you to do the work for them, or you find someone to work for, as I did. By my relentless self-promotion, somebody found me. They wanted me to do some work for them. They enjoyed what I did. They enjoyed my aesthetic, my abilities, my design abilities. So they were very happy to work with me. And they
Hmm.
really enjoyed the teamwork. They really enjoyed the teamwork of doing the work together. So that was really good. And that's how I managed to, the way I found some of my clients was actually answering a funny little question like, how do I put a texture on? Oh, you do it like
Hmm.
this. Oh, can you show me? Yeah, you do it like this. Oh, I really like the way you deal with this. I really love the way you teach me. And then it leads on to another thing, and then it leads on to another thing. And some of these things can last for 10, 15 years on and off.
Yeah.
So that would be my answer
That's really
is
good.
relentless
Hmm.
self-promotion, getting out there.
Hmm.
If you want to do a Google search, look for inbound marketing or guerrilla
Yeah.
marketing. These are the two terms that people use to describe what we're talking about. I
And
found
another
a
thing, don't
couple.
be shy of, I want to tell the listener, don't shy of doing self promotions. It's,
No.
don't be shy. Uh, don't be
Like
shy.
we are.
Just tell about
Don't be
yourself.
shy like us. Is that what you're going to say?
Don't be shy. I told my students, it's your time for shine.
Mm,
Just it's time.
yeah.
It's your time to shine.
I was talking to a student. She was saying to me, should I email some prospective people? And I said, no,
Hmm.
turn up. Introduce yourself. Show that what you are. And as you say, it's time to stop being shy. Actually
Hmm.
stand up, front up, turn up nice, present yourself well to your prospective
Hmm.
employer, but be
Hmm.
yourself. I had one
Yeah.
student, she was really gregarious and
Yeah.
she said to me, shall I tone it all down to go and see people? I said, no, because that won't make you comfortable. They need to know what they're
Hmm.
getting. You show them who you are. Show them how
Yeah.
fun you are.
Yeah. That thing is when you know the peoples and you have talked for them for some periods and you get more comfortable.
Mm.
And people also getting comfortable and they can employ you or they can reach you out. Let's say, be it the same like overseas, also the people they're listening, they're reading our topics and listening. And that's why they feel comfortable of contacting us and they reach us out. That's why we got a job overseas. It's easy if you do
So
it
one of the
regularly.
things, I went through a recession in London, and the company that I
Hmm.
worked for that had 600 people in London,
Hmm.
400 got fired. So they
Oh.
really fired a lot of people. I was really fortunate I managed to keep my job, but on the other hand, I was also highly skilled at the computer, which meant I kept
Hmm.
my job that way. And I worked really hard to make sure that I was good at the computer. And I used to study what we needed to do using MicroStation.
Hmm.
I used to talk to my friend David. He'd always show me some tricks. We'd learn how to do stuff that no one else wanted to do. We'd work really hard and we kept our jobs. There was about 4 or 5 of us. It was Ingrid and Robin and David and myself and somebody else, I can't remember. But we worked, there was only 5 in the entire company that kept
Hmm.
their jobs, and it was us, and we were really good. But when I wanted to change that job, I wanted to get out and I wanted to teach Vectorworks. And this is in the days before we had mobile phones, we didn't have pages, you had to go to a
Hmm.
phone box. And I used to get out the building design magazine, and people in England know what I mean. I'd get out the BD and I'd look in the back and I'd see, oh, there's a job advert. I'd get on the phone box and I'd phone. And one of the phrases that I found was really useful was I'd introduce myself to talk and they'd say, I'm sorry, we can't use that skill at the moment. But this phrase really got me a lot of leads, which was to say, thank you for your time, but do you know anyone else that might be interested? Oh,
Hmm.
yeah. How about you call this guy? I'm pretty sure I spoke to him the other day. All right. So you call up that guy and you say, I was talking to the other guy and he said that you might be interested in this. This is what I'm doing. And then if they might say no, and then again use that same phrase. Do you know anyone else that might be interested? Do you know anyone else that maybe I could call? And they'll give you a name, and that'll lead you on to the next one. And I stood for hours in those phone boxes in Tottenham Court Road with the wind blowing through the phone
Yeah.
boxes, talking to people, asking for the next one, looking for the next lead, looking for the next lead. And then I got this most fantastic job I've ever had at Din Associates in Vauxhall. And it was just the most marvelous time of my life of teaching them Vectorworks, having fun with them, designing stuff. That asked me to do these wacky designs. I just do what I wanted. It was really marvelous, and they really appreciated me. But the way I got that job was to make lots and lots of dead end phone calls. But the way you stop them being a dead end is thank you for your time. Do you know anyone else that might be interested? Do you know anyone else I could call? And
Yeah.
that got me all those leads. And a lot of people give up. After one lead, they give up. But I just kept going and going because I had to. I had no choice. I just had to keep
Mhm.
going until I got, and I thought I was so, really enjoyed that job. I just thought I was so lucky to get that job.
Yeah.
The skill level was there, the hustle was there. I've got some stories to tell you about that. Maybe another day we should go through some of
Yeah.
those
We
stories.
will. We will. Yeah. It's good. All right. Thanks for your time.
All right. Thanks a lot, Ethan. It's really good to talk to you again. I really look forward
Yeah.
to these weekly meetings. I really do. I
Yeah.
hope everyone
It's
else
really
enjoys
nice.
listening.
Okay. Thank you. Bye.
Goodbye. Ka kite.
Goodbye and good night.